Well, meanwhile, I've been joined here in the studio by the security and defence analyst Michael Clarke, who's going to walk us through his read of the situation as it stands today. We've been talking, Michael, haven't we, about this looking and feeling very much like an inflection point, what we're expecting to see later this afternoon.
Yeah, Sam, it is a very important moment in this whole awful situation that it looks as if the hostage exchange will take place and the ceasefire is in place. It's going to last for 4 days, if it lasts for 4 days. Netanyahu, Israeli Prime Minister, has said that they might make it last another 5 days if every day Hamas release another 10 people. So if 50 people are released in the next 4 days and it lasts for another 5 days after that, that might be 100 people out of 240-odd who are held hostage, which would be something. A 9-day ceasefire, of course, would be quite interesting and difficult. And this is what's behind it. It's the Americans. These are the two people who've done more than anyone else to actually turn Netanyahu's priorities around. On the left is the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Qatar. Very important person. Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Jazim Al Thani, a real mover and shaker across the Middle East. Very important. And this man, Brett McGurk, who is a special envoy for the Middle East. And these two are in touch with each other all the time. There is a cell that he runs in the States, in the Pentagon, or around the Pentagon, and they're in constant touch with the Qataris. And they're pushing this because the Americans are really keen to get the American hostages out. And that's really important to President Biden for all sorts of political reasons we can imagine. And the effect of Biden's visit on the 18th of October was that he really pushed Netanyahu, instead of thinking about the offensive, to think about getting the hostages out by negotiated route. And here we are. And so that's what the Israelis are now facing.
Interesting. OK, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. Yeah. Meanwhile, let's talk about what's happening on the ground. We've seen the locusts really shift, haven't we, from the north of Gaza down to the south. What's happening? Yeah,
I mean, the Israelis have been fairly successful in the north, as they hoped that they would be. They haven't lost many people themselves. They've moved their focus from the hospitals now to Jabalia, the refugee camp, of course, which, again, tends to be the basis of quite a lot of planning of Hamas. And they've occupied big areas. And so they're coming to the end of what they need to do in the north. They could still take a while to do it. But in the south, it will be more difficult because almost 2 million people now are in the south of the 2.3 million Gazans altogether. And there'll be a big pressure on the Israelis not to do the same in the north as in the south as they tried to do in the north. And what the Israelis are saying is that, well, they want everyone to move to Moassi. And Moassi is a little Bedouin village,
isn't it?
right on the edge, right in the southwest.
Dunes, what one of my
exactly, yeah. It's 1 kilometre wide and 14 kilometres long. There's no way the 2 million people are going to move into that sort of area. But that's what the Israelis are saying. Move there to be safe while we go for Khan Younis and Rafah, which are the two places which we believe Hamas will use. Still, of course, the Israelis think that they've neutralised or killed about 5,000 Hamas people of the 20 to 25,000 who are active fighters. So they haven't got more than a quarter of the force they're trying to destroy, and almost all of the others, we're pretty sure, are in the south. So it's very difficult. Now, I don't think the international community will be very happy at the end of, let's say, a 9-day ceasefire, that's what it turns out to be, for them to do that. And the crumb of comfort in this, the silver lining, is that as bad as this is in Gaza, it hasn't yet spread to southern Lebanon, to the Golan Heights, to the West Bank.
Because Hezbollah have been making...
Hezbollah have said that, yeah, Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, they have said, if you destroy Hamas, we will attack. We will actually, whether they mean it, we don't know, but that's what they've said. The Golan Heights, of course, has got 25,000 Israeli settlers there illegally. The Golan Heights may be vulnerable, but the West Bank is a tinderbox at the moment. Well over 100 Palestinians have been killed by settler violence and security raids and so on. That's just waiting to blow up. But so far, it hasn't happened. So as bad as things are in Gaza, the silver lining is it's not yet got any worse anywhere else. But this is delicate. We keep our eye on what's happening elsewhere all the time.
All right, Michael, thank you.